All right, call to order the third quarter Land Acquisition Commission meeting, 2025. Present, we have Cassandra Marshall, Adam Goodman, Mark Egan, and myself, Rob Wilkins. Okay, call to order at 6:15. Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, copy in hand of the draft meeting minutes from the second quarter meeting. They are also available on our website. Does anybody have any edits or suggestions to the draft minutes? Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Draft meeting minutes, now final meeting minutes. All right. Commissioner Bishop is not present, he's on vacation, but every quarter we have a quarterly update from the Commissioner, Conservation Director, excuse me. And that involves going over his land acquisition worksheet, which is posted to our agenda. The updates to the worksheet are color-coded green. So I'm going to do my best to read through some of the progress that was made in the second quarter. Here we go. All right, so we have 130 Welch Terrace, title wetlands property. Status of it is the town attorney filed a request for ruling on April 14th, stipulated judgment in progress. Okay. Next property is 137 Deerfield Street, and that is tidal wetlands. Inland wetlands and water course. Status of that is the town attorney has initiated foreclosure. Next property we have 240 Red Oak Road. 6 acres, should be new open space. That would protect the wetlands, inland wetlands and water courses. Director Bishop has reconnected with the heirs on April 16th and May 21st of this year regarding consideration of the donation / foreclosure. Okay. All right. The next property is 140.
Just one thing to point out on that one.
Yes.
That's the same owner as the next 3, which we've all acquired.
Okay.
Interesting.
All right, so that would be a continuation of, yeah. And that's 6 acres too. All right, so the next property we have here is 140 Limerick Road. Inland wetlands, and that's been acquired on April 29th, 2025. And that's 1.56 acres of new open space. Moving along, 688 Catamount Road. This is a big one. This is 10.26 acres, mostly inland wetlands. Appears to be adjoining Brett Wood. Latest status is that there's been no response to an inquiry letter dated in September 24 and January 25. And Tim has sent an email following up on that. He sent that on April 9th, 2025. All right. Here we have 445 Congress Street, 2.63 acres, wetlands, inland wetlands and water course. latest on that. Initial contact letter mailed on April 1st, 2025. Received a response letter on May 8th of no interest at this time. Okay. 785 Oldfield Road, that is 1.5 acres, tidal wetlands. This one's in progress with the town attorney for a partial donation, recently approved the Planning and Zoning Committee and the Conservation Commission. I don't know if Tim wants to be involved in the approval of that one, but we'll have to wait for the next meeting to find out. All right, so moving along, we have 860 Fairfield Beach Road. That's a little more than 3/4 of an acre of tidal wetlands. Tim reached out with an initial inquiry letter on April 25th of this year.
I'm sorry, I missed the last meeting, but these three are all Fairfield Beach Road.
Mm-hmm. They look, yeah.
Are they things that we've initiated, or Tim has initiated?
Yeah, it looks like there was initial inquiry.
I think it's attached to already open space, and so we're trying to increase it.
Yeah, the South Pine Creek open space. Plus the addresses of the next two are pretty much right next to each other. So the next one, that was 860 Fairfield.
Somebody just reached out, in fact, I don't even know if we discussed, the
Yeah,
green is new.
Green is new,
Yeah.
and this is a note that he has here. So he reached out on April 25th regarding 3 parcels that appear to be connected that would add to the South Pine Creek open space. 860 Fairfield Beach Road, 872, and lastly 890. And it looks like that's about maybe 2 3/4 acres together. Should be tidal wetland. Looks like you received a response on 890 Fairfield Beach Road. At least in that one, no interest at this time. Okay, this one's 220 Pansy Road, 8.49 acres. This one's been discussed for a while, and it is acquisition approved by several commissions here, Planning and Zoning, Board of Selectmen, Inland Wetlands, and the title transfer is in progress, so that's 8.5 acres.
So you know what's missing here on these, where there's 0 delinquent tax returns? Is this stuff we're paying for with our funds, or, like, I understand the foreclosure thing, but are these donations, or?
Acquisition approved.
I think it's in lieu of paying taxes on that property, so to sort of lower their taxes, they're willing to donate part of their land.
Okay.
Or just donate it, like you were asking with the Fairfield Beach parcel, those are like these wetland parcels,
Yeah.
you know, that aren't,
I know that
they're not developable.
there already is
There's nothing in it.
like an Audubon Society thing right there.
Yeah.
And he's trying to wrap up, and he's trying to increase the numbers and value that
Yeah.
our holdings, I guess. Even though there's no real reason to do anything with this, because nobody can do anything with it anyway. It's wetlands.
But we're not paying for it.
I don't think we're paying for them. I think these are just donations, and a way for the landowner to reduce his taxes,
Yeah.
I suspect.
And for some of these where they don't have a dollar amount, they most likely, weren't delinquent taxes.
Right.
So it was just a straight donation, for one reason or another.
Okay.
When we get to new business, I can add some info to that 220 Pansy Road, just to put a place marker there.
Okay. 2 lots here, Vasco 33724 Post Road. That's inland wetlands with some delinquent taxes. Town attorney working on pending foreclosure case, so they are trying to obtain property that way. And then one appears to be adjacent, 3726,
That's Bulkley Pond.
yeah.
Brandon, we've been working on that a while.
That's the Bulky Pond,
Yeah.
next to Shake Shack, that used to be a pond, and then the town of Fairfield, Appistuck Land Trust, and I think the Nature Conservancy all got together and had that dam. The dam got breached, and then they fully removed it, because I always forget this word, it's a androgynous, the fish that basically migrate to the ocean and back inland. And this allows the fish to free flow back and forth. And I know, because the land trust helped with taking the dam down, Tim sent an email to me and our executive director, letting us know that they had acquired this 4.2 acre piece finally.
Hmm.
It's beautiful now in there. I don't know if you've ever
I haven't been in
seen
there.
it.
There's a pathway though, right?
There's no pathway, but it's no more pond.
Yeah.
It's just, you can see it, the succession happening.
I used to ice skate on that
Oh.
pond when I was a kid.
There's turtles in there too.
But
You can't walk on it though, it's all wet.
the land trust has a preserve on it,
Okay.
so does the town, and now we have more, but I think the stuff that, like, we just acquired the 4.2, I'm not sure, I have to look at the map, I don't know if it's contiguous with our piece, I think it might be,
Cool.
but I don't know, there's no new trails or anything.
Right, right.
I thought that Tim wanted to
He
add
may,
on.
I think, yeah, you're right, I think you might be right.
Yeah.
I think that maybe that could happen, that would be great to get out into that area, and like I said, the succession's already happening, meaning it's like, the grasses are growing, and now the
Yeah.
woody material starts taking over, and like another 5 or 10 years, we're gonna start getting trees,
Yeah.
and it's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I assume they're contiguous, Nasco Creek Pond, open space.
Yeah, Scott, I can look real quick, 3726,
Yeah. Acquired June 20th.
it's pretty recent.
But 3 different owners.
Yeah.
3726? Yeah, here it is, okay.
And so, I think you guys were talking about it, I wasn't, sorry, like, the back taxes are basically just forgiven, right, in these situations?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the offer, pretty much.
Yeah.
So here's, Bulkley Pond, right here. This is 95, this is Post Road. The reason there's nothing here is this is Westport. So this is the Fairfield GIS. So this is town property. And there's a trail here that comes in. I've actually never hiked it actually. It's all full highway. You
Okay.
can see on the left. And so the piece that we just acquired is this piece,
Yeah.
this big one right here. It looks like it's all water, but again, it's still drained. So I think you're right, I think he does plan on connecting the two. And then I think Aspetuck has this Westport parcel here, I have to go to the Westport
No
GIS.
trails on that side, no?
I don't know, I should go there, I don't know.
Westport side?
I don't think there is trails off Bulkley.
Actually, I think I did try to find it and I did not find a trail
Oh,
on the Westport side.
let's see.
I'm like driving around people's neighborhoods. Because sometimes they are like hidden.
You're right, it could have been off Grist Mill. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Yeah, here's another Peters Gate. So, here's the pond. So I have all these. That's the town open space.
Bottom, yeah.
Post Road's the bottom. That's the town. The piece we're acquiring is like half this pond, and Aspetuck owns the green.
Oh,
That'd be nice.
So it's sort of like this whole area. Yeah.
Irrigation.
And that is a wildlife only, that is not trail. Peters Gate is not trail.
But this is great, I mean, it sounds like, we went after the delinquent taxes, got the big parcel, and now he's looking at
Joining,
smaller.
what was the next
mining
one?
Things. The bottom 3 are all next to each other.
3724?
37, 22, 24,
Yeah.
26, yeah.
Yeah, those are all just adjacent to it, to the
Mhm.
south.
Great.
And
Marty,
it's
total,
been a quick couple
yeah,
years.
5.5
years, And it's nice that the town attorneys, it seems like he's working
Yeah.
hand in hand, and, I mean, they're really accomplishing a lot, I mean, more than I had seen previous
Yeah.
directors.
Mhm.
Yeah, so 3722 has an older update here, initial inquiry letter in February, no response today, so I think they'll probably follow up. Maybe point.
It's the same people who own that, that artist studio. It's this one here, and right next to that bridge, is that the artist studio? I don't know.
No, it's on the other.
It's a realtor, I think, Hawthorne Realty.
Oh, it's right by the
They-
dam.
Whoever owns this piece is the same one, yeah, it's right across, I
Okay.
don't know that building. I think the gallery is this.
Yeah.
this one, which is such a cool spot. I've never been there.
Now I think it's open work, like you can,
Oh.
like if you have to go do work at an office just for like collage, you can sign up like.
Like a
what do they
WeWork
call it?
type of
Yeah.
thing. Building's like a few hundred years old.
The yarn place.
Yeah, a long time ago.
That's kind of a funny name.
Okay, all right, so it looks like, 2 official acquisitions, a lot of headway. So things are moving along. Do we wanna talk about AMP, is it?
Can wait till new business.
All right, so,
Unless you have other, I guess we have one.
Thank you. Do all the list here. Does anybody have anything to bring up? Did we do those? Yeah, I went through all the changes.
Oh, right, yes.
Motion to approve the conservation director's
Mhm.
update. All in favor?
That's what you need to improve stuff.
All right, well.
I approve of the
We're-
font.
I approve of the solid work you
All
done.
right, note to self, don't need to approve that.
Yeah, it's not a motion.
Alright. Alright, I have here, first order of business, whole business, outreach regarding potential acquisitions and aligning with other groups such as Aztec Land Trust.
Who are they?
Did I talk about the Earth Day event?
No.
Oh, okay, so I can give a little update on that. For the Sustainable Fairfield, like Earth Day event that they do, in partnership with the YMCA, it was a good day, it was pretty busy. I felt like being there was really actually helpful. A lot of people stopped by the table and were interested in, what current open space we have. Tim had ordered me a map, a poster size, so that was kind of nice, so people can kind of have a visual of the whole town and where the open space was. And then I printed out maps of each of the different preserves that have trails on them, and people took home, like, you know, trails that they wanted to do. So I thought that was really cool.
I have a new one.
After the meeting, I wound up taking the map and labeling it better, because there was no real labels on it, so that next year would be easier to like, oh, go to this trail and then I can find it and like the name's right there and it'll just be clearer, basically. But I'll definitely do it again next year. I thought it was definitely good community outreach and, we can kind of help Fairfielders understand we actually have open space that should and could be used at the moment, so. I had definitely some interactive kid stuff and that was great because a lot of the booths did not have like kid-friendly tactile things to do. So I had, kinetic stands and they could build their own like open space with trees and animals and whatnot. So the kids love that too. So it was a great success and I would be happy to do it again next year if any of you guys.
How long were you there?
2 hours?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
And it
Thank
was
you.
well run, easy to do, basically.
Thanks.
So yeah, anytime we could do more stuff like that,
Can I get one of those maps?
I think it's a picture that I can send it to you. I don't have anything off the top of my head, but if there's other events in town that we can set up a booth for, it's pretty much already, you know, ready to go. So I saved all the stuff, so we can easily do it again.
Good check with Sustainable Fairfield, you know, if they ask it, usually it's pretty
Or maybe even,
active with coming up with
Natural History Museum over here, I don't know. I remember back in the day, they did a Halloween, like, on the green thing, and there was a lot of booths for that too.
Farmer's market.
Oh, okay, yeah, maybe just one random farmer's market. But also, I feel like it's nice to feel like there is a lot of support in the community for wanting to put aside open space. That feels good.
That's true.
Is there any other avenues for funding that we could ever explore, or is it because it's a town mission? I don't know.
I feel like
Question of the hour.
Yeah,
we are advisory, you know?
yeah,
So basically, I think like Mr. Bishop has to initiate, you know,
Right.
and then we're like, you know, we support that and we will help you get it across the finish line. But I know, like, I definitely get RTM people that are frustrated and they're like, why aren't you guys like buying this or buying that?
Yeah, no, I get that.
Talk with them,
You're like,
"Yeah,
well,
yeah,
here's-
good of it,"
yeah.
yeah. They're like, oh, okay.
carve out
But I
general
know-
funds,
I know there's
Pretty
just like
much.
a general,
yeah.
people wish for a funding arm, a bigger funding arm, I guess. And I think that really has to come from the selectmen, and it has to be part of the town budget.
Right.
And we've asked,
Yeah.
right? I mean, we've pleaded for other sources.
Tiny slice, you know.
Yeah.
I think it's hard to imagine spending the kind of money you need for the real estate here as
I
of
know.
nowadays.
That's true.
Tim, I mean, what Tim's doing is great because we're not spending money.
Right, no, I mean, if they're just not, for the only money we were never gonna get anyway.
It's a new way of doing things.
Yeah.
But, I mean, so that the funds that developers pay in lieu, that's been a topic before, right? So we've-
Yeah, it hasn't come up recently.
Well, that's number 3, isn't it?
Yeah,
Part of our
Coming up.
business?
number 3, yeah.
Yeah. Would they,
You're asking about sources of funding.
did they pass that?
No, I know, that
No,
never,
they haven't passed it.
Right.
Well, passed the House.
Okay, but then it died, 'cause
I think it's in the Senate now,
I don't,
the way I read it, but.
when was that? I think it doesn't.
I may be reading it wrong.
Well, I know that anything that had not been fully, correct me if I'm wrong, but in terms of how it works.
Could have died.
Yeah, I think everything died, but it wasn't signed, because I know that was House Bill 5002.
yeah, that got,
If he hadn't have signed it after 15 days, then it would become law.
Okay.
But he didn't not sign it, he vetoed it.
yeah.
But the bill never gets to the governor's office and session dies.
That's right,
And
and
then-
there's a whole new executive,
All right, so
legislative
we're
session.
okay then
I-
with that.
If it didn't pass and he didn't sign the bill, sign it, then I think we're
Yeah.
okay.
Because I went through, the Connecticut 169 strong seat, you know, it's still up there.
It is.
And then I linked to,
Well, because they'll probably try again.
yeah, they'll probably try again.
But it can't go back to the Senate and get like a 2/3 vote to override the veto.
I asked Tony Wong about that,
Yeah.
because we were talking about this, at our annual meeting,
Uh-huh.
at the annual meeting.
Oh, I've heard that.
And, he said no, he's like, there's
So
just
there's
not,
not a will for it?
there's not a will to like override this, you know, thinking that people hate it, which just makes me wonder why they all voted for it, I guess, politics. I don't know.
But we've had this conversation before, in this last meeting, so I don't know if it came up, but about the way that you value the property that someone's getting a tax break on and then needs to contribute to our fund.
Mhm.
And you had some meeting with Bill Gerber, that just all,
Well, and we included it as a recommendation for the POCD, we mentioned
Yeah,
it
we
in
had,
the
did I have
POCD,
anything on
No.
POCD?
nothing, okay, don't know anything going
Because
on.
that's like, what we should do is maybe follow up with conservation, planning and zoning. Is the new director in now? Is Jim Went officially
I don't
retired?
think so, I hadn't heard. I don't know. I would
I mean,
think
for
we
that to
were.
change, it would actually
Yeah, we would've
require
heard.
it to go through all boards, right?
Because we had mentioned meeting with Jim Wen, but then, once we got the
I think we
following
found out he was
schedule,
retiring.
hiring, so.
Let's put
So
on the,
one, our next step was to meet with Jim Wen's replacement.
okay, so let's keep that on the,
Who might be,
And
what's her
then,
name, Emily.
I think it's
who's in the
approved.
department, yeah,
I think so.
yeah.
who,
we could
she
have-
was his right-hand man, so I
Yeah.
would expect it to be exactly the same.
What's her last name?
Malign, I'll tell you in a second.
Have we ever spoken to the town attorney about the
He
route?
He was present at, our meeting with Bill Gerber like a year ago. And he's amenable to figuring out what's going on. He said, yeah, these property cards are stale, these numbers are stale. Well, they are.
Yeah, well, my taxes just went up, so someone's paying attention.
Did they go, do you know they went up?
You got the reval
Yeah.
slip?
You already there,
I mean, it didn't go up a lot, but.
What,
No, I didn't get a reval, I
Oh,
just got it, with the, they changed the rate, so my taxes went up. No, I didn't-
Oh,
not the middle
yeah,
part,
yeah.
Yeah, I got the form that said initial, if any, there's any changes.
Yeah,
I've never
yeah.
gotten that. Is that?
They want everybody to do their own.
just trying to make it maybe
I bought a new
efficient.
refrigerator.
I'm trying to figure, like, that's for like changes that you didn't report, essentially? Like, you built a shed and didn't get a permit for it, like?
I don't know if it like saves them sending like foot soldiers out to the houses, just say, oh yeah, that's good. I don't know.
They look at aerial photos anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how they really figure this stuff out. So it's like telling them, I don't know.
No, I don't know. I think they look at, I asked them once, they said, I go, how would you even know if I did it? Oh, well, we look at aerial photos.
I mean, back to your original question, funds to fund what we're doing, and I know we're advisory, but, Tim does a great job. When I joined this commission, I was like shocked that this is how we do this. We foreclose on properties, or we, give us your property, we'll forgive your taxes. Brilliant. But the way to get more money is change how we value.
Yeah, and it's been on our list for a long time.
I'd be happy to help with that.
Okay, all right.
There's
I
a
guess
subcommittee or something,
we can reach out to schedule meetings.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to hear from the town attorney, what, so like we're all talking, we think we need all these commissions' approval. I'd like to hear from him.
Yeah.
What exactly do we need? What's the next step? How do we go about it? And, You're skeptical?
No, I agree, sorry, you're,
Okay.
no,
I think we could have a meeting with Bilton and recovery, so it might be a little while, but wait till then, and then Emily. And then just go over, kind of carry over from what we talked about a year ago with them about, how these property values need to really be up to what they are now. Whether it's the assessed value or the market value, it's a lot more than what it.
I'll go back to my notes and I'll look
Pre-COVID.
into, what the statutory, regulatory,
Mm-hmm.
basis for all this is.
Uh-huh.
Haven't looked at that in a while, but.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think about a subcommittee for something like that? We just too small, or we just?
It doesn't matter, I'm just,
Yeah.
whatever, I'm happy to help.
I feel like a subcommittee, as it is.
Yeah, we are a subcommittee. Well, let's just say, this will be a group effort then.
Great.
The issue is with the set aside, fee is based on the assessed value of the land, which is way undervalued for what it actually is, 'cause.
Well, it's not just that, it was that we were asking them to follow the law.
Right,
It says that you need to get an appraisal,
right,
and they weren't getting appraisal,
you got it.
right, which is a lot different than the town.
We have the authority
Right.
to
Or
request.
especially for raw land, too.
Right, that when you're just valuing the raw land as like one undeveloped parcel, when it
Right.
really can be subdivided into 10 lots, it should be
Right.
valued as 10 lots.
Yeah,
Right.
But you need to keep an eye on whatever's coming through subdivisions and whatnot. I mean, it's not many, so it's easy to catch what's coming through and then just make sure it's done right. At least with a brand new appraisal.
Yeah, maybe get out in front of it, you're right. Yeah. But I mean, we've brought this to Gerber's attention, and we've mentioned, we've been screaming, I feel like, from the rooftops about this, but haven't really gotten any traction.
But this falls under planning and zoning, right?
I don't know.
Collect it, right? To enforce it and
I
collect it.
guess it does, they vote on it, yeah. They can vote to not,
We probably just don't really know about it, and we need to bring it to their attention.
Yeah, well, we can do that too.
Yeah, the meeting with
zoning official.
You're right, Emmeline Harrigan.
Carry on.
If you want me to spell it for you, I can. Harrigan.
I need help with Emmeline.
Emmeline, Emmeline.
Got it.
And you are correct, April 1st. She's our new town planner,
Okay.
effective April 1st.
Yeah.
Good to know. I guess I'm hesitant, I just feel like there's such bigger fish for them to fry, like why are they gonna do this big change, you know? But there are,
Because it'll drive them crazy.
yeah, I think that's good, we should try, that's what we're tasked with, I think.
Yeah. Alright. And the will?
Here's the will.
Okay.
Okay, 220 Pansy Road.
Oh, you wanna go on to new business? What
Well,
about community events, you wanna talk about all the trash you picked up?
Oh,
yeah, let's talk about the trash that we picked up. We've had, 4 or 5 bags?
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing scary this time, mystery bags. We were there for about an hour. Hillary, Cassandra, Adam, myself, anybody else? No, had to go.
Apologies, was out of town.
That's all right.
It wasn't that bad, but it's also still surprising how much it gets ingrained in the ground.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, people really still throw shit up on the.
That part too.
Well,
Bigger,
that's
but
the
still,
Yeah.
25.
I was like doing a baseball area and there's just candy wrappers everywhere, surprising it. Even though there's plenty of trash cans,
Yeah.
but that felt good to get all that out. That was success. We should plan another one in the fall.
Okay, we'll plan one,
Is that time in
we'll
the
figure
morning
it out,
good?
September, October.
Yeah, that was a good
You
time.
go by there a lot, though, you can tell us if it's
Yeah.
a disaster. But then,
Actually,
yeah,
after us.
That would mean we just call Public Works.
Yeah.
After our, Adopt a Street pickup, we went to, Chef's Table and had some coffee and talked about the House Bill 5002.
That was impressive that he viewed it. I don't think, I was told by Tony in that same conversation that they thought he was going to, let it go into law without signing it. But
Yeah.
he's up for reelection, which maybe
Yeah.
that's why he did it, I don't know.
First.
A lot.
Suburban
Yeah.
Democrats probably, and sure.
He probably got a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
There was definitely, oh my
Down
God.
here.
I mean, I got a lot of pressure, just on my
Yeah.
emails, I can only imagine what was getting
Yeah.
across his desk. Yeah, it's pretty intense.
I sent him an email.
Yeah, well, we sent him,
Oh, yeah, did you get
we
that?
sent him the
Yeah,
letter
okay.
from the commission, mostly standard text.
It would have basically like made TPZ almost, like irrelevant.
Yeah,
Yeah, really.
Amazing how far it got, I mean, really.
yeah.
What?
It's just amazing how far it got.
Yeah.
like, You know?
Yeah. We'll see what happens.
It's gonna, the issue's not going away.
No.
They have lobbyists working on it full time.
Right. That's why I worry about the in lieu of, just the developer lobby, must be pretty
Yeah.
powerful, because that doesn't really benefit anybody but developers getting rid of
Yeah.
it in lieu of. So. Good
So,
stuff.
but that's a good one with the in lieu of bill that we're back in black, so to speak.
Mhm. The
Okay.
220, so 220 Panzer Road is here. This is the one where, this is Black Rock, so this is like Old Navy. I think the Old Navy is right here. One of these buildings is Old Navy, you know, like, whatever, Wing Number One, or I don't even know what's there anymore. Einstein Bagels, I don't even think that's there anymore.
No.
But that's the plaza right here. This is Black Rock, and so this is the one
That's
that,
the farm.
it's the farm.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
tore down the building.
That's the one that he, is in, what was the green?
Whitmer.
It's near Widmer, but I think Widmer is over here, one of
Okay.
these.
It faces the road to the left.
It faces Pansy Road, so there's a road frontage right here, and there's like a house here. And
Right.
what's happening here? What does the note say? That they're donating it?
8.5 acres, acquisition approved by bunch of commissions,
I'm so shocked.
title transfer.
Are they,
Number.
are they carving off the house lot to?
They have to,
It
right?
has to be, it
Yeah.
goes inland wetland.
Is that the one with the old farmhouse
Yeah.
on the right, and the left's got the red
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah,
barn
barn,
thing?
Those buildings are gone now.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
I haven't rolled up that street in a while.
So maybe what I predict is there's a good portion of that property is not developable because of wetlands.
No, yeah, oh yeah, sorry, yeah, this is all wetlands, there's no other building lot here.
Got it.
It's undevelopable.
Interesting.
Yeah, and there's no trails, there's nothing you can do there,
Just keep
But
it.
the house
green.
in the barn could be,
be.
so,
Yeah.
so he must have sold that part and donated the rest.
Was he behind in taxes?
No?
Yeah.
Family held, I think, for a long time,
It's
right?
been
Yeah.
for sale for a while.
Yeah, I know, I remember hearing rumors that they were gonna build some big housing complex there.
We talked about this like 2 years ago.
We've been
Yeah.
talking about it for a while, I know Apatow too was talking about it. Anyway, why I mentioned this is that I had a conversation with Tim about this also. I had many conversations, too many conversations, but you can see there's all these parcels here.
But they're building a huge, right behind, Little Cub. Oh, okay, so that must be this lot right here. It's
Yeah.
gonna turn into like a huge apartment building.
Oh, it's just big neighbor suing.
Oh, wow.
I'm talking about 430.
Wow, I didn't realize there was that much
Yeah.
undeveloped property back in there.
This all is undeveloped, but it's
Wow.
all wooded.
Yeah.
It really isn't, I mean, the road frontage is upland that you can develop on.
Yeah.
Anyway, long story short, this is the property we're talking about. The property here is 92 Pansy, and the owner wrote me a letter, and then also I got a call from the attorney.
The town attorney?
No, this owner.
Her attorney.
Her attorney, yeah.
Or her-
Yep, no, it's a her, Elizabeth. And so it's funny, because the attorney's talking to me, and they're being vague, you know, we got a property there, and would the land trust be interested in having this land donated in the will, bequeathed to the land trust, in their will? So I'm like, wait, I was like trying to figure out where this was, and then I knew, I was like, wait, are you talking about Pansy? Because like, I got a letter from your client.
Okay.
So, and then I subsequently spoke to Tim about this, because I mean, well, there's no reason that the land trust should take this on. If the town is taking over this property,
Yeah,
you know, maybe we can get all these properties.
Right.
So this is sort of the bookend.
Ambiguous.
does he agree with that?
He did,
Okay.
yeah, he thought it was good, and so I told him that I would tell the landowner that, you know, don't put us in the will, put the town in
And
the will.
explain that we have that other property.
Yeah, and I did already explain
The
that,
larger
yeah,
picture movie. Yeah.
exactly. So it's kind of a nice little piece there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, and the interesting thing is there is a house here that probably needs to be torn down, I believe.
Okay.
And, you know, they, you know, what would you guys do? And like, honestly, for us, I mean, this is not a preserve for recreation, there's no trails and on here. And so I said, honestly, and as you know, any property that you take on, it requires funds to take care of the property. You're gonna take it forever. And so if the land trust takes the property, we gotta take care of it forever and steward it, and we would probably sell that buildable lot and use the funds to help take care of that property and other properties. So I told that to the attorney, and, you know, I don't know that they care. It doesn't sound like they care, they were gonna just leave it in their will. And so, that's all I know.
Okay.
You know, it's hard when you're dealing with with wills, because anybody can leave something in their will and not even tell you.
Right.
You
Right.
find out all of a sudden you own a piece of land. And I've wondered how that works, like, what if someone leaves us an
That's
environmental
what happens
wasteland? Like, do you have to
Enjoy the bill,
accept it?
you do not.
You don't,
Yeah,
yeah.
due diligence.
Could,
Find that tank.
like, let's just say they put that in the will of the town, could the town sell the house, the property, and use the funds for other open space, or does it
Depends on
go
what
back
it
into the
says.
fund?
It
I guess
depends
the
on
will
what it
can
says.
direct it,
The will will
right?
direct it, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
So I discussed that with the
Yeah.
attorney, you know, like,
It's
what is, and the nice thing about, what you can do when the property's being left in a will is you can start your due diligence, like you were saying, like, it's hard for us to spend a lot of money on something that may or may not end up in someone's will, but you can at least find out what their wishes are, you know, make sure that they're okay with what you would do with the land, and kind of get an agreement understood. So there's some due diligence you can do, but it's not like you're gonna do a title search to see about the deeds, because
Right.
they can leave it to you whether or not you say yes or no on some level. So it's good to open up that line of communication. So I will encourage the owner to reach out to the town. I feel like that's a better fit than than the trust, or we can work with him on that. But, nice. And that's a good chunk of land there too, that's like, let me see what that is, that's, it's only 3.35 acres.
A good chunk.
Yeah. I don't think there's more than the one lot there either. So that's the only new business I have.
Okay. We did talk at the last meeting about a property, I don't know which one it was, but there was something about, whether or not it was two parties reaching out. I think DuPont was involved and was an owner. Do you know which property we're talking about?
Someone reached out.
Right, so there's one property, and we didn't want to cross paths with Aspetuck reaching out, and I believe it's a DuPont property.
Probably.
Did we go over that?
One up at Greenville Hill, like,
I mean, I've mentioned it.
Okay.
Yeah. Only because, our directors, got
Right.
that couple of decades of personal relationships
All right.
with them.
So our commission should just kind of sit tight.
I don't know that they're related to it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I know, I don't think they want to sell it or have it be developed. I think you're talking about like the Holes Farm property.
Okay.
There's a hot spot that goes from north of Holes Farm, where Morehouse Lane is, that sidewalk, that beautiful, one of the best streets on the entire, town. Have you been there?
Yeah.
It's a sidewalk. It's one way. It's at dead ends. You can't really drive it. You have to bike it, is usually what I do. There's a pig farm on it. Do you know about the pig farm?
No, I don't.
There's a pig that's like half the size of this table that was on it. There's some other undeveloped lands, and so it's sort of the last, it's still fragmented, but it's sort of the last forest block. Not forest block, a lot of it isn't forest, but it's the last undeveloped, one of the last undeveloped.
That's DuPont?
In Fairfield. Yeah, it includes that, it's a lot of land. So I'm not sure that it's worth approaching, going to talk to them. What was the other one?
I think that was the only one where we were wondering if, we should be reaching out, and we didn't want to get into a situation that was sensitive.
Yeah, I would say for now.
All right, maybe later on. Yeah, okay.
Maybe later on, yeah.
But that's the one I think we brought up.
I mean, that's an obvious one. I thought there was
Yeah.
one more that was.
And it's right on the Westport border.
We're talking about a property up farther north, maybe adjacent to Brett Woods, is that?
Oh, right. Oh, that's the property you're thinking of.
Okay.
You think about a different property. That's the one that I spoke about last time, that's like 20 acres or something. Most of it is on the Aspetuck River.
Right,
It's kind of wetlands.
yeah.
It's adjacent to Brett Woods, it's across 136, and it's partly in Fairfield and it's partly in Weston.
Okay.
And I haven't been able to spend any time on this. There's a Girl Scout camp there. I've talked to a neighbor there who would be interested in contributing to help secure that property. It's just the ridiculous asking price.
Yeah.
That's right.
It was like so high. I think it's been reduced,
Yeah.
but it's still high,
It was offered. Okay.
I think when I spoke to the neighbor, last I left it with him, I remember saying I would talk to our appraiser and see if they can give me a ballpark, see if we're in like the ballpark for the number. I haven't had a chance to do that. But I felt like there was enough interested parties that maybe we could all collaborate because the town of Fairfield would be interested. I mean, it basically would be an extension of Brett Woods. I don't know if you could really trail it. A lot of it's wet, but there is along next to the road, there's developable land. The neighbors would potentially contribute, and there's a Girl Scout camp on the north end of it, that maybe they would be interested in helping preserve it. So I did bring it up to Tim, and I don't know if he probably hasn't done anything on it. It's tough for a town it was over $2 million, I want to say.
Yeah.
Well,
Right? Do you remember?
I don't remember, I just remember, like, the owner's, like, in Florida or something, right? Or is it?
Yeah.
Like, not even?
She's a famous opera singer?
Yeah, there's,
Did I mention that?
yeah, I remember it's a funny backstory on her.
2.5 is what it's listed at right now.
What's the address?
Oh, wait, it's there's two listings.
Two separate lots.
The same picture. I think this one says 85 to 95 Old Easton Turnpike, but that's the north end of the property. I believe the south end is on 136. Yeah, Old Easton Turnpike's the northern boundary.
So the Girl Scouts are a disparate organization, it's not like one thing, but just anecdotally, my firm represented some Girl Scouts donating an enormous parcel, in either Virginia or Maryland within the last year. The reason I didn't do the deal, but I was involved because one of my clients, I think it was Conservation Fund, was interested in it and didn't end up getting it, but it went to some, they just donated it.
Oh, they own it?
The pictures look really pretty, there's 2 ponds.
Yeah, so here it is. This is not the parcel map, but this is Brett Woods. So this is our Brett Woods, right? And it ends at 136 is right here. And the property is essentially bounded by Judges Hollow, Old Easton Turnpike, and Old Kings Highway. It's like this whole thing.
Oh, nice.
And I think the owner that reached out to me was on Aspetuck Lane right here. There's the 2 ponds, here's the Aspetuck River. So, there's buildable lots here. Oh, Girl Scout camp is here. Somewhere in this range.
That should be acquired.
Right?
Of course it should.
So.
Can you get Weston involved too?
Yeah, the town of Weston, absolutely. I mean, it needs, she didn't get an appraisal, the owner, from what the neighbor said. The neighbor spoke to the realtor. I didn't speak to him. So, we don't want to pay for an appraisal, but it seems like that we could kind of get a back of the envelope number. Maybe that should be, I'll add that to my list.
It's been on the market for 99 days.
Yeah, that's always misleading though, because you can take it off and put it back on. It's.
But it's not really, what percentage wetlands?
Most of it.
No.
Here, I'll pull up the tab. Is this Fairfield? Yeah. Oh, well, Fairfield, it's mostly in wetland.
Waiting to a developer.
Yeah, it's not like a spot that's great for a big subdivision
No.
anyway, so.
Yeah.
It's not, I don't think that there is.
They're all 2 acre zone up there regardless, right?
I don't think so.
No?
All parcels pulled together, she said.
Yeah, she doesn't want to subdivide it. That's what one neighbor already tried to do. Let me see here.
A rare opportunity to build your dream home.
Yeah, there you go.
Vision.
So it's, I think the market is just, that's it, someone who's.
$2 million?
Someone who's got 10 million,
Right.
buy it for 2 million and build a 20,000 square foot house on it.
I mean, that being said, it has been on the market for a while and not sold.
So like, this is the only Fairfield piece.
Okay.
So which is the only.
So this is it right here?
It's a little ear.
So this is all Weston, except for this. And I think this too. No, that's somebody else.
Alright, so those parcels.
So, and this is
We could maybe.
entirely undeveloped.
Participating in.
I'm pretty sure this is all undevelopable. I don't think you could put a driveway in off 136. There's no, maybe you could come in off Aspetuck Lane. I don't know. I think that these are like creeks or rivers. Huh. Right
Does
here.
Aspetuck, if price was right, have an interest?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so would you guys direct the, sort of deal?
Yeah, I could help manage the deal, absolutely, and pull these parties together, 100%.
I feel like if you were a buyer to build a house, would you even want an undeveloped parcel in a different town jurisdiction?
True, right?
Like that,
If it gets donated, then you basically get the view for free.
Right.
Never,
Right, it increases the property value.
Yeah.
For the people around you, absolutely.
Oh, there was price to it. It was 2.95, and then in February it went
Yeah.
down to 2.5,
Yeah.
and then in May it went down to 2 million.
Oh, it's down to 2?
So she is bringing it down.
Yep. Here, let
I
me
mean,
show
what's
you
the
that.
total acreage?
7 acres.
Separate.
Okay, here you go. Okay, this is a good, this is the FEMA map,
Alright.
flood zone,
Okay.
the flood zone map. So again, this is essentially the property is like this,
Yeah.
and this is
Oh, yeah.
Fairfield property is entirely flood zone. And all the interior is flood zone, literally just along the road I don't know if it goes to Old Kings Highway, but
That's
Oh.
not a buildable
your
line.
dream house.
yeah.
It's
So,
good for us.
you can't, and there are roads kind of in here, I looked at the aerials, but it's, I mean, you can't really build interior and along the river for sure, but
So there are no improvements on the property?
So
there are a couple improvements, if I remember, there's a couple sheds, I think there might be a dilapidated house that needs to be taken down, yeah, there's some old things that are not in good shape. Yeah. But I mean, you don't get 20 plus acres in Fairfield, Weston area, you know, and it's on the Aztec River, so it's a cool spot, it's right across, Brentwood is
Trail. Yeah,
Which
across
could be-
Brentwood.
Can you check if they owe any back taxes?
I can't do that. It's a good question, actually. So maybe it's time to engage the realtor,
Oh, that's a good idea, yeah.
also.
We can update Tim on, you know, what we're talking about here.
Or the realtors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that it probably wouldn't be like a park or a preserve to hike or recreate in is a bit tougher to want to pull the trigger on that much money,
Right.
you know? I've never been on the property, so it's
But-
possible that there could be something.
I feel like yeah, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, it's so beautiful, you can't fly a path in there somewhere
Yeah,
all those times.
I have to do it, or
Yeah.
we have to do it.
Could you say it's part of Brentwood, say it was required?
It's contiguous with
All right,
Brentwood.
so
And
then
that's
it's
one of
just-
the
it's
goals.
Brent, you saw it as Brentwood.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, but also, as you saw, Fairfield has a smaller portion than Weston, so we have to get Linda Vanderslice. I think that's the first one.
Taxes are 16,602.
Pretty small.
Good deal.
That's just the Fairfield side.
Yeah.
Made delinquent.
Right, but why pay $16,000 on a piece of property you could like still enjoy the view on and walk on it?
It's a pretty appealing, and I mean, and it's not that far out in the middle of nowhere, you know?
Right.
It's pretty close to Westport, I mean, it's right there. It would be like our northwesternmost town property. Pretty neat.
Okay, well, I'll add it to the next agenda, just
Okay,
to
yeah,
remind ourselves.
keep the ball in the air, yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. It's fun, right?
Really fun.
All right,
We need to vote on the next meeting.
we have it tentatively scheduled for October 14th, 6 P.M. I don't know if it's Tuesday or Wednesday.
October 14th?
Yeah.
Tuesday.
6 p.m.
That works for me.
Okay. Do we want to do a street cleanup before our next meeting or after? I guess after, the beginning of the year is kind of hectic, right?
I'd say after, right before snowfall.
Yeah.
Good, because then it won't get
We'll
dirty
leave
right
it
away.
down, we won't see
Yeah.
what we're.
Oh, okay, maybe we should
No.
at least go down.
Yeah.
Do we know where we'll be on October 14th, or we won't know until like that week?
Like for the meeting?
Yeah, here.
Yeah, we're usually here.
I have word product in my calendar.
I know, and that's for the crowd, but I think,
Yeah.
Tim would rather it here, and considering it's a sale day and a sale night, I
Sounds good.
understand.
All right, so we'll schedule our, cleanup for maybe the 18th,
Of November?
or November. Or we could just plan on scheduling the
Yeah,
cleanup
we'll-
at the October meeting.
Yeah, let's do that.
And if you see it, if you go by and you see it.
Yes, if there's an emergency.
Send an email around.
Is that always the spot too? That,
Yeah,
That's
we
the
have the
amount of
sign there,
street, yeah.
Jim likes signs.
I know, I saw you just put a new one at the end of Riverview Circle. Pretty new. Open space.
Who's that?
It's off Duck Farm. My friend lives at the end of the street.
Mhm.
I guess it's a pretty nice trail that goes along the river.
Oh, along the mill?
Yep,
There's a couple, there's a couple little cul-de-sac streets that end right in the river.
that's it, yeah.
Yeah, I've been in there, I went fishing in there last year,
Yeah.
exploring all the little entrances to the mill. Caught a little sunfish.
Nice. Yeah, it's cool. But yeah, they just I noticed they have a big, wood and yellow lettering sign, so must have been past few months.
It'd be great to grow up with that river in your backyard.
Yeah.
How much exploring you could do in there, it's pretty cool. Plus, they stock upstream, so I'm sure the stockings come down in that area.
Right.
Great trout.
Yeah, you get pretty high after a lot of rainfall.
All right,
We just need the next meeting, just the one?
one more meeting this year, yeah,
Okay.
October 14th.
All right, good meeting. Motion to adjourn?
And
Do we do that? We good?
We need a motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Just don't approve this.